Alex Naylor was a historian. For him, history was alive. It wasn't something that was dead in any way, that it informed us in how we are in the present and also guided us for what happens in the future. He was a self-confessed hero worshipper. He admired those leaders that put duty and courage predominant features in their lives. For example, Alexander the Great, T.E. Lawrence, and of course Nelson. He was passionate about Nelson. I mean, he had this association with him from a very early age. He was born in Essex, but he lived in Nelson Road and always felt that his connection to this great hero was quite strong. And even in the school play, he didn't get cast as Nelson, his best friend did. And he took it in a very magnanimous way, as Alex was like that, and even lent his best friend the uniform that his mother had made for him. It was so lovely years later when, after we'd written the script of Trafalgar, coincidentally, we went to the International Festival of the Sea, and I'm quite interested in theatre and so on. My father was an opera singer, so I've always been on the stage from an early age, and I wanted to be part of the street theatre, and that was a wonderful opportunity to be able to be in the 4-day event without exhausting yourself in one day or whatever. And I managed to persuade Alex to come along and be in it. And when we got talking to John Oram, who was the director, talking about Nelson and Alex's knowledge, because he had one of those minds that remembered every detail. More importantly, not just what happened and when it happened, but crucially why it happened. And that was his genius, really, as a historian. He also remembered every word that Nelson had ever written or was recorded verbatim. So he could literally just become Nelson. He could just channel him almost and speak, because he knew how the mind of this extraordinary man thought. John Oram said, well, you obviously know so much about Nelson, I'm going to cast a Nelson. Would you be willing to take the part? Which we did, and at the time Channel 4 were making a documentary on Nelson, asked if they could borrow him. And John Oram was very magnanimous and said, yeah, sure. And then the phone never stopped ringing. So that's how we kind of found ourselves